So hi guys, the United Kingdom has recently reported the highest number of coronavirus cases since June 25, which was around 6 weeks ago. So is this the beginning of a second wave? Let's find out. So as you can see from this graph, it seems that the number of daily cases seem to be going up. However, this could be due to the availability of testing for Covid-19, which is now more readily available. So these are my 5 main reasons as to why I think there will be a second wave. So the first is there's no readily available vaccine at the moment. And as the number of coronavirus cases start coming down, people will become more complacent. They'll start mixing again, start going back to gatherings. And then it just takes that one patient who is asymptomatic of the disease, meaning they have the disease but are not showing any symptoms, will start spreading the virus again. Also around May time, researchers had discovered that there were 200 recurrent mutations in the coronavirus, which means that it'll be more difficult to come up with a vaccine. However, these mutations did not make the virus any more deadlier than it already is, and it did not make it more easily transmitted. The second reason is, which is what I just briefly touched upon, the fact that the virus has an incubation period of 14 days. This means that you can have the virus for up to 14 days, sometimes longer, without showing any symptoms. So this means that you can go on to spread the virus to other people. Therefore, it makes it a lot more difficult to trace. The third reason is, so far research has shown that in those that already have been infected with the virus, the immunity is not lasting long enough. So this makes them more prone to recurrent infections with COVID-19. And this is something that I have also seen in my line of work. The fourth reason is that the British researchers estimated that worldwide only 10% of people have been exposed to the virus. So a lot more people will be exposed. The fifth reason is there's a historical precedence to be wary of second waves. The second wave of the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, which is believed to have infected around 500 million people, or a third of the world's population, was more deadly than the first. And it was also more devastating for infected young people. Also, in terms of the third wave, I believe that any further outbreaks after the coronavirus second wave will be smaller outbreaks, which should be more effectively controlled. A third wave may also be that we have to live with the coronavirus or COVID-19 just as we live with flu, H1N1 and other viruses. So something that may become more permanent. Until recently, Hong Kong was considered as the poster child for its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. And despite sharing a border with mainland China, where the first cases were reported, Hong Kong kept its infection numbers down and was able to avoid the extreme lockdown measures introduced in parts of China, Europe and the US. But now it's been hit by not even a second, but a third wave of infections. The government has warned its hospital system could face collapse, and it's just had a high record number of new infections in a day. Malik Peris, who's the chair of virology at the University of Hong Kong, believes 4 reasons contributed to the third wave. The first was returning travellers to Hong Kong were allowed to quarantine at home, which was less stricter than being quarantined in camps where you could not leave the camp. The other reason was that some people were exempted from quarantine, such as aircrew and some executives of some companies, to ensure day-to-day operation continued. The third reason is social distancing measures were significantly rolled back in June 2020. And the fourth reason is that the pro-democracy protests could have spread the virus. So guys, that's how I think coronavirus or the COVID-19 will affect us from now on. Please share any ideas or thoughts about how you think the pandemic will affect us. Thank you.